name's Arthur Hollocks. I'm 13 years old and have a sister called Nell. I live in Felsham, about 8 miles away from Bury St Edmunds. We would like to tell you about a day in the life of Felsham during harvest in the early 1900s. I go to the new school there, which was built in 1897. The children from Gedding go there too. The headmaster is Mr Stern, and he is a bit. There is a pub called the Six Bells, and opposite is St Peter's Church. The rector is Canon Hind. And Mrs Anderson, who lives in Newlands, gave us a new organ in 1899. Most of the houses are built around the two greens, upper and lower. This is where the water pumps are. We have a post office, and the postmaster is Mr Godbold. Most of the men work on farms, and my father works for Mr Scott.
Are you there, Charlie? Time's getting on and your breakfast is ready. Whatever were you doing out there?
I was just wondering about the weather. Master wants us to start cutting the barley in Castlefield today, but I don't know if we shan't get some rain. We had a shower in the night.
Well, that's fine now. That'll probably be right warm later. You know what they say. Rain before 7, fine by 11. Now, come on, sit yourself down or you'll be late.
I was just looking at the pig who was Mike poorly last night and off his grub.
Oh, I'll see to him later. He's always been a bit of a weakling, that one. That's such a pity we couldn't have afforded a better weaner at the start. But our Arthur, he did need new boots for school. Oh, I know he may be poor, I wasn't having people say we was beggars.
Anyway, I've got some barley now for the pig. I'll feed him a bit of that later. Them tater peelers were at Brick Green. I don't think you fancy them at all.
Ow, Arthur, why not kicking me? Get on,
Whatever are they up to? Now, Arthur, what are you up to? Oh, my breakfast time.
Mother, Jane comes and sits behind me at school, and she keeps pulling my hair.
You're such a softie. You ought to pull hers back when you're in the playground. If any of the boys had a go at me, I'd soon make them sorry.
You've always been able to stand up for yourself, haven't you? Do you remember when he started school, Nell, how worried you were that all the big boys would pick on him? But he's always been able to fight his own battles. And you'll have to make sure you stand up to that Jane Coppin, or she'll walk all over you. They're a wild bunch then. Their mother's not much better.
You children are lucky. Your mother was a lady's maid and she know how children should behave. We're house is always clean and there's grub for us to eat when we come home.
Oh, but I do wish I had just a bit more money. Another couple of bob a week. Well, I'd be able to feed the children, feed you so much better, and dress the children better too.
I ain't much hope of that. I'm likely to get less wages, not more, if the farmers get their way. I hear there's talk of the workers ganging together and marching to London and showing the government we just can't go on like this. We're fair starving here in Suffolk. If we was to go on strike, they'd have to listen.
Well, it's no good you talking like that. That maybe you'd lose your job, and then where would we be? I know the farmers and the gentry, they have more money than us and bigger houses and the like, but they do give us work. Did you know that the Canon Hind, he went up to school the other day, see if any of the top girls be willing to go and work at the rectory?
Well, at least he doesn't get people from outside the village. Not like some of them that look for servants from Bury so they can pay them even less. Anyway, I'd like to see how he'd get on working on the land long hours every day.
Well, you're not going to change the world sitting there moaning, are you? So here's your bread and cheese, off you go to work.
Hi, children.
What's no good getting your nose stuck in a book, young lady? Just go upstairs and put that washing down that I sorted. Oh, do get a move on.
Nell's always talking about birds and butterflies now. Girl stuff. However, Mr Stern was pleased the other day when she said she found a robin's nest in the hedge. He said it must have been second brood. She wouldn't tell the other girls where it was in case they took the eggs. I expect that's why Jane Cocker pulled her hair.
Well, now the harvest holidays have started, I expect they'll soon be bosom friends again and that'll all be forgotten. Are you going out to play?
Yes, I want to show Bob my new marbles.
Well, off you go then. Just make sure you're home in time for dinner. I'll just put it over there by the copper.
You look tired. Mother, are you alright?
Oh, I'm just a bit worn out and I'm a bit worried about your grandfather. He has been so lonely since your dad died, since your granddad died and grandma died even. I was just wanting to go, he's lost interest in everything, even his garden. So I was just wanting to pop up together this afternoon, maybe help him with a bit of weeding.
I could go see him tomorrow. He likes plays with him, and we can sing together. And he tells me about the days when he was a boy.
Oh, you're a good girl. No, I am sorry if I'm a bit sharp with you sometimes, but I do have such a lot to worry me. But I can always talk to you. Go on, off you go.
Goodbye, Mother. See you at dinner time.
I don't.
I've come to give you some news. Our Jenny is to go over to Buxall today to see Mrs. Cross about the housemaid's job that's going there. What do you reckon? Now, I know the wages isn't very good, but she can come home on her afternoons off and that'll be a good start for her. Well, for a year or so anyway.
But she's only 14. Wouldn't you rather she'd be working in a village where you can keep an eye on her? Or maybe working with the parson and then he can keep an eye on her too.
Well, that is what I think, but my Tom wants her to go somewhere where she can better herself. He says they're looking for housemaids at the big house in Bury where the Harveys live. They pay good money there, £10 a year. And a uniform and her key. But I can't help thinking about my poor cousin up Cockfield. Young Betsy, she went to work at the big house in Sudbury. Within a year, she found herself in the family way. Yeah. They say it was a young man home from university. What was the father? But of course, they couldn't prove nothing. And there she was, turned out, bags and baggage, not a penny what was owed to her, and her poor mother's heart broke.
What worry girls are.
Yeah.
Heads turned by fine words and promises. Well, what does your Jenny want to do?
Oh, of course, she want to go up the town, see a bit of life, she said. But she don't know what temptations there are, see. Luckily, the carrier, Harry Wright, he only go to Bury on market days. But she's Tom's favourite, so he encouraged her. I am that worried I don't know where to turn.
I've been thinking about our Nell. My cousin, she ran the post office in Stowe. I was hoping she would give her a place, because she's really good at learning, reading and writing and stuff, especially sums. Mr. Stern says she's really quick. Mind you, she's no good at sewing and the like. You should have seen that petticoat she brought home from school. That were only fit for a rag. Never mind, can't have everything, I suppose.
Oh, well, now, see, that's something our Jenny can do. She'd make a fine lady's day someday, I shouldn't wonder. Go to a big house, work her way up.
Good morning, friends. What a lovely morning. I reckon your washing will soon be dry, Mrs. Hollis. And I always say, there's no one in this village has a better line of clean clothes than yourself. And your house is like a new pin.
Did you want something?
Just come to see how you are. But since you ask, could you spare me a cup of sugar? I've run right out, and my old man's got such a rare sweet tooth.
Well, you should try putting a bit less in the cup and giving it a good stir. I couldn't bear finding a load of sugar at the bottom of the cup. That's such a waste. Oh, I dare say I can spare you a bit.
Thought we'd be seeing a spot washing on Mrs. Smith's line this week. She must be near due her time and not a stitch put into her rag as yet. You'd think she'd have some put by from her last.
Well, I hints in the rectory box come round yet, and you know Mrs. Hyde, she always puts something in there for the baby.
Pooh, I don't hold with charity myself. The Lord helps those that helps themselves, that's what I always say. And that Mrs. Smith will take more than she'll give, and more's the fool who give in to her.
There's your cup of sugar, Mrs. Cotton.
Thank you very much, my dear. I'll have it back to you by Friday. And if I forget, you send your nail round. I'd like to show my plants. I've never known my geraniums to do so well.
I reckon you've got green fingers. Right, I best be off. Biddy our hen has laid us first egg. That hit very big, mind. That'll make a few buns for the children. Bye. Oh, Mrs. Hollocks, I just seen your father coming up the lane. I reckon the sunshine's brought him out.
Oh, I'll just walk up the road to meet him. Mrs. Cobbing is just going.
I suppose I'd best be off. No rest for the wicked. Thank you for the sugar.
She fairly tries my patience. She's such a blabbermouth. She's so self-righteous.
Well, I could have heck. You ought to have heard what she's been saying about the postmaster's wife. Well, that was Tuesday, and I was thinking...
When harvest come on and the reaping begins, the farmer the fruit of the earth gathers in the feathers fall till the season be gone, and the night be upon till it's all of a row, till it's all of a row, till it's all of a row.
Right together, we'll stop for our dinner now. Ah, I see the beer's arrived on the cart. Only half an hour, mind. If we got on all right after, we'll have another break at pauses when the women ring it.
Oh, we'll have a rare old thirst. That barley do fairly tickle the old throat. Is Fred likely to be back soon?
Or, not likely. Ain't got far enough to the siphon yet. Maybe end of the week he'll show us face.
I see him riding up Berry Road after he got us started. He said you'd be king of the harvest chipper.
Ah, he did. He'll be back as soon as he can. He'll want to see how far we got.
Like when the old squire was alive, he was outside before any of us, getting the horses harnessed up. He was a strict man, but fair. If you worked hard, he'd see you right coming into harvest.
Yeah, but the young squire, he'd be more interested in hunting than farming. Leaves all the work and meetings to bailiff. More's a pity. As far as he's concerned, they don't exist. They'd be nothing more or less than slaves.
Jingo, don't talk about our betters like that. If it wasn't for the squire paying our wages, we'd starve.
Starve, you say? What do you call this then? My missus has a job feeding the littlings and putting clothes on their backs. Our cottage lets in the rain and I have to keep patching it up. Every time I nail a new bit on, the damn rain finds another spot to come through. Well, I tell you, it won't go on forever. The farm labourers of this country will rise up. And then things will be different.
You'll be wanting us to join a union next. And then the squire will throw us out on our ear. We really will be starving. You let it alone, Tinker. Eat your dinner, work hard, get your wages and be content. It'll take more than unions to make things better.
I reckon take another war, change anything for good. The old Kaiser Bill might do us all a good favour in the end.
Well, Rector was preaching on Sunday about loving our enemies. So my mum was saying. But when a crew man came round last year, he was saying it was every man's duty to sign up. Didn't seem to add up to me.
I reckon if we done a bit more school learning, we could preach as well as that parson. Nothing is, old Joey Himes. He's always got a good word to say about everyone.
Yeah, and when he comes and he calls, they never talk about religion. They say that new vicar down at Rattleston's always going on about God and heaven and hell. My sister Nellie, she lives up High Street. She say they don't know what to say when they see him. She say they lock the door and hide upstairs when he comes.
That sort of talk ought to be kept for church. You expect it there. If you don't want to hear it, you don't have to go.
I reckon church going best be left to the women. They can collect our bread tokens and of course the old ones if they be think of their latter end.
Did you hear the rector called in at the Coker Hut the other week and he caught Sammy Mays and his brother from Motherland playing cards for money? Oh, he gave them a right old rollicking. Now they have somebody standing at the window keeping a lookout in case he come back again. Tailors that make a man.
I reckon that's Henry Brewer down on Lower Green. He ain't been well all year. Last week their doctor out from Woolpit said nothing more they could do for him. He was a fine worker. They say he made a better and truer will than anyone in this part of Suffolk. He was a good builder too. Mrs Anderson used to have him up at hers at Hewlands doing all her repairs.
Well then, men. What are you all doing sitting around gossiping like a load of old women? Time you was getting back to work, as far as I can see. Oh, I see you found a beer then.
And that went down a fair treat. I said they could have half an hour and that ain't up yet. We worked hard all morning, sir, and we shan't finish till nightfall. We just heard the bells to it, and that was for old Harry Brew.
Well, yes. I just passed on Mrs Pilbroke, going into his cottage to lay him out. There'll be more work for the rector and the sexton as well.
Now, Mrs Pilbrow, she brings everyone into this world, and over it.
Well, you best be getting back to work soon, men. It looked like it might rain any moment now.
There ain't a speck of cloud anywhere, he is a miserable old sod.
Yeah, we better get back, or else old Sally and Mrs James will be doing more than us if we're not careful.
When the harvest come on and the reaping begins, the farmer the fruit of the earth gathers in the meadows tall till the season be gone, and at night he'll holler.
Oh, it's too hot to bother with this. The walls are wet and sticky, and it won't pull through. Let's do something else.
I know. Let's play Poor Ginny. Come on, everybody. Make a circle. You boys too.
Oh, can't leave us alone. Besides, me and Tom are busy, and we don't like girls' games. Sissy kids stuff.
Oh, come on. You can don't spoil it. You can play marbles any old time. Besides, we need a boy for Poor Ginny.
Now, who's going to be... I reckon it's your turn, Sally. Middle.
Poor Ginny's a weeping, a weeping, a weeping. Poor Ginny's a weeping on a bright summer's day.
Not you, but you.
Poor Ginny's a weeping, a weeping, a weeping. Poor Ginny's a weeping on a bright summer's day.
Not you, but you.
Come on, we're fed up of this. Let's go bird nesting, Arthur.
I don't know.
I reckon that's cruel, Bob, and it's not fair. Poor little birds work hard building their nests. How do you think they feel when they come back and all their eggs are gone?
Don't be so soft now. Besides, Father said it's alright if you only take one of the eggs and leave the others. Anyway, I'm going. Are you coming?
I want to come too.
No, you better stay here with the girls.
I know. Let's play oranges and lemons. Oranges and lemons, say the bells of St. Clement's. You owe me 5 farthings, say the bells of St. Martin's. When will you pay me, say the bells of Old Bailey. When I grow rich, say the bells of Shoreditch. When will that be, say the bells of Stepney. I do not know, says the great bell of Bow. Here comes a candle to light you to bed. Here comes a chocolate to chop off your head. Chop, 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 last man's dead. Here comes a candle to light you to bed. Here comes a chopper to chop off your head. Chop, 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 last man's dead. Here comes a candle to light you to bed. Here comes a chopper to chop off your head. Chop, 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 last man's dead. Here comes a candle to light you to bed. Here comes a chopper to chop off your head. Chop, 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 last man's dead. Here comes a candle to light you to bed. Here comes a chopper to chop off your head. Chop, 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 last man's dead.
You are, Jenny. It's time you were getting off to Buxton to see about this job. Now remember, you go past the Crown and the farm is 3 houses further along. You go around the back and you ask for Mrs. Cross. You speak nicely. I'm Jenny Rose. I'm from Felsham and I'm here about the job. Now I would come with you, but I can't walk that far. Oh, Sally, you'll go with her, won't you, love?
Can't I go with them, Mother?
I dunno. If you promise to behave and do exactly as the girls tell you. Come on, together.
My legs still ache. Is it much further? Well, you shouldn't have come then. No, don't sit down, you'll get all dirty.
Oh look, I think this is it. Didn't your mother say church farm? Go on, Jenny, knock on the door. Oh, go on. She can't eat you. Anyway, I'm all this way now. Can't turn back now without being ready.
Oh, what is it? What is it? Oh, who are you? Oh, I suppose you've come about the place.
Yes, please, ma'am. I'm Jenny Rose from Felsham. I'm 14 years old and I'm just leaving school and I've come about the place.
Well, you might do. My maid's just gone up and left, gone to better herself, or so she say. Though how you can better yourself at 14-year-old and being here, I don't know. Now, let me see. What can you do? Can you do anything you're told?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you get up at 6 in the morning without being asked?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you light the fire in the dining room?
Yes,
Carry
ma'am.
up hot water, sweep and dust the parlour, light the fire there too?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I do all the cooking, but you must prepare the vegetables and do the washing up afterwards.
Yes, ma'am.
And we'll turn and make the beds together, and then you sweep and dust the dining room.
Yes,
All
ma'am.
right? Now, we have high tea at 6. You do all the clearing up afterwards.
Yes, ma'am.
Bedtime at 9 p.m, and I can pay you 15 shilling a month. And I know that's not much, but you're young, and it's an easy home and a comfortable life, really.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Now, you're not going to be lonely, are you?
Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am.
All right, then. Well, I'll see you next Monday. All right? Oh, and tell your mother to pack you plenty of clothes, because I only do a wash once every 6 weeks. And I have a woman to do that. Oh, and bring plenty of cats and aprons as well, all right? Oh, and I've seen your eye on this cake I've just baked. Would you like a slice? Go on, then. All right. Well, I'll see you on Monday. Don't be late.
Oh dear, I forgot to ask for the first month's wages. Mother says she's got no money to fit and buy.
We'll just have to explain when we get back. Did you ever see such food? They must have been very rich to live in a house like that and have so much food.
I got 2 bits of cake. And Mrs. Cross will think you're the greediest little boy in Suffolk. Come on, let's run. Won't seem so far on the way back.
to that place at Vauxhall today. What's the name of the mistress there?
Mrs. Cross. I hear she's a fair employer, so I do hope she get the job.
Well, they do say she's a bit of a strange woman, a bit on the mean side. Still, I'm sure your girl will do just as well there as anywhere. Oh, Martha, do come and sit down. We were just talking about that Mrs. Cross over at Vauxhall. Young Jenny and Sally have gone over there today about the maid's job.
So I hear. Did you know that Mrs. Cross is a witch and that farmhouse is haunted? Well, I don't know for sure, but she always keeps a black cat, and the women in the village go to her for pills and potions when they can't afford a doctor. Of course, I'm only telling you what I've heard.
What a load of old squit. You frightened poor Lizzie half to death. You shouldn't say such things, Martha. Witches died out years ago. Parson's got a black cat. Miss Hines no witch. And Mrs. Pike up at Gedden, she makes some lovely medicines from her herb garden. And you wouldn't find a more God-fearing woman or regular churchgoer too. So don't you go frightening people like that.
Well, I'm only telling you what I've heard. My Rosie sent me a paper last week all about the King and Queen, and it was in the paper, so it must be true. Seems like the King go off to Paris regular once a month and gets up to goodness knows what there. He has supper with them girls from the Folly Burgers. Seems he can't help himself.
But he can't be in Paris, because he's just had a serious operation. He'd need to rest.
It's called appendicitis.
Yeah.
He had to have it out.
And I know another thing for a fact. Poor Queen Alexandra. You know she wear a pearl choker around her royal neck. Well, they say, as to hide the marks where the King tried to throttle her, because she dared complain. See, even if they do live in Paris and beat or gold place, still have their troubles, same as us. Catch me putting up with them sort of goings on from my old man.
Oh, you shouldn't believe all you hear or read, Martha. Anyway, I think it's wrong you spreading these stories, especially since he's been so ill.
I thought I heard you, Mrs. Coppet.
I see Ted Dempster's back from leave of the army and help with the harvest. He do look holly smart in his uniform.
Arthur set his heart on joining the army too. All that travelling off to foreign parts and earning a decent wage. There's not much here for him, so maybe it'd be best. And Ted be answering all his questions.
Oh, Mother, we found the farmhouse and Mrs. Cross gave us such a feast. Lemonade and all, a big slice of pig to come away with. Sally had 2 pieces. And then to start on Monday.
Oh, Jenny, that is good news. That will be a good start for you for a year or so. Then we can find you something better. Now, did Mrs. Cross say what your wages were going to be? And did she give you a bit so we can get you set up? Oh, not that there's much time before Monday.
I've got to ask Mother, maybe I shan't be able to go.
Oh, don't worry, I think we've got some material left over from my Annie's last parcel. I think if Elizabeth could lend us her sewing machine, we could make something from that. I think there's some caps and aprons in there too that you can borrow. That'll get you started. What do you think?
Well, of course we'll help.
Oh, that is kind.
And did you see her black cat?
Fresh fish! Fresh fish! Fresh fish! And what are you going to buy from me today, ladies? Now I've got some of this fresh fish here, some nice bloaters. I've one for your man's tea, only 1 a penny. Oh, how about a nice bit of card?
Oh, I'll have a bit of card. I'll have a bloater with a soft roe. I shan't want one otherwise. I can spread the roe on a bit of toast and kiddies' tea.
You alls want soft roe. You know, if I was soft roe, I'd have been ate up long ago. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Fair oozing. Oozing with goodness. Well, you know, I'll tell you what I do. I can let you have 2 of those whoppers for 3 halfpence. 3 halfpence. Now, one will have to be Ardro, mind, because I've got to keep some for getting, else they won't buy nothing from me. What do you say?
Oh, I only want one. We didn't make the money round here.
What's that one?
Ah, well, that in there, my dear, that is a John Dory. Now, can you see those marks? They say they're finger marks that St. Peter made when he brought them out from the sea when he was fishing, and he prepared them and cooked them for them by the seaside.
Do you mean with Jesus?
Yeah, that's right, and they do say that since then every John Dory that's come out of the sea has got his finger marks on them. Yeah, they do say that. Mind you, I can't be certain of that, but that's what they say in our trade. Are you there, John Dory? Are you there in Felsham Pond? Are you there in glory? Are you there in Felsham Pond? Are you there? I've red Tommy Toes for the gentry, and bloaters for the likes of you. I've pears and peaches aplenty, and an orange for the likes of you. Who am I, dear? Are you there, John Dory? Are you there in Felsham Pond? Are you there, John Dory? Are you there in Felsham Pond? Are you there? Oh, I've a bunch of grapes for the gentry, and bloaters for the likes of you. I can tip my hat most politely, and be patient with the likes of you. Are you there, John Dory? Are you there in Felsham Pond? Are you there in glory? Are you there in Felsham Pond? Are you there? Now there's one kind of fish which is saintly, and it's taught me a thing or two. I've red Tommy Toes for the gentry, and patience for the likes of you. Are you there, John Dory? Are you there in Felsham Pond? Are you there in glory? Are you there in Felsham Pond? Are you there? Well, I got some oranges on my cart. Would anybody like some? 3 a penny.
Oh, yes, please.
Come on in.
Well, I suppose I'd better go and get the fire up in my man's tea.
Now, I was wanting a word with you. You're a good girl. You can keep a secret, can't you?
Yes, Mrs.
Oh, well, my Henry and I, we was after a bit of help, you see. We got a letter from the Friendly Society, and it's got all these words and all these figures. Well, we can't understand it, but we think it's about our bit of savings that we've got. Now, you're quick at school, you've always got your head in a book. Well, we was wondering if you'll come round and help us with it. Do you think you can do that?
Oh, yes, Mrs. Cox. I'll have to tell my mother, of course, but I shan't say a word to anyone else.
Oh, she's a good woman, is your mother. She keeps herself to herself. She doesn't go gossiping, not like some of them round here. Anyway, we never went to school when we were younger. We never had the chance. Not like you lot these days. Suppose you come round in the morning. I'll get the letters, you can read them all, and maybe even write one back, and then it'll all be done. What do you think?
Oh, it's so nice of you to ask me, and I'd love to come to your house and see your garden. You have the best flowers in the village.
Oh, thank you. Well, I'll give you a slip of my geraniums, and if you come round tomorrow, let's seal our bargain by shaking hands. Thank you.
Oh, you to come and pick some parsley and then go and chop it up for the dumplings?
Yes, Mother. And Mother, what do you think? Mrs. Coxidge has asked me if I can help her and Mr. Coxidge with their letters, because, you know, sometimes they don't always understand what they mean. I can, can't I?
Well, of course you can, and that's a great privilege to be asked. Mind you, you mustn't ever tell anyone what you read in them letters.
No, I promise.
Oh, come on then. Let's go and get your dad's tea ready.
for a 6 and I didn't get my extra turn.
You were too slow. If you take too long, you don't get the turn. That's the rule.
Mother, it's not fair.
Oh, do stop arguing. I never did know such children as you. I wish you were a bit more like my ladies' children where I used to work before I was wed. Little angels they were.
Well, tell us about those days and about the parties at night and all the posh people.
And the carriages, especially the horses. When I'm older, I'm going to have a horse and ride a belt on it and tell other people what to do and be rich and visit far off places like Africa or India.
I expect the furthest you're going to get is Sudbury Market once a week.
But I want to be a soldier and go to Africa or India. Ted Dempster might go to Africa with the army.
Oh, you children who have such ideas. But when you grow up, you'll have to earn your living just like your father and I. Nothing's going to change for us.
Oh, tell us about how it was before you had asthma.
No, it's your bedtime.
Well, tell us some more.
Oh, I must have told you 100 times. Oh, all right then, I'll tell you just a little bit. Well, I came down from my home in Norfolk to work at a big house in Bury St Edmunds called Morton Hall. Oh, that had a beautiful entrance hall with a big fireplace, and all the best rooms had these lovely chandeliers, and they had a ballroom. It was really nice, and they used to have such parties and balls. And the maids, they used to polish all the furniture until they could see their faces in them. Oh, were they nice days? Well, I used to love doing my lady's hair. Oh, it was so nice.
Tell us about how you met Father.
Well, one day, my friend Alice Hubbard, she was parlour maid there. She said to come with her to Felsham. Well, I'd never heard of the place. And anyway, we got a lift on the carrier's cart, and we came here because there was a fair. Well, it was a really nice fair, and there was coconut shies, and donkey rides. There was even a roundabout. Well, we went and saw the men rolling for a pig, and that's where I first set eyes on your father. Oh, he did look wholly handsome, and he won it. Well, I saw him looking at me. Well, I did look rather nice because I was wearing my best frock. And anyway, somehow we managed to walk away together and bought me a glass of lemonade. Well, the carrier's car came to take us back to Bury. I never thought I'd see him again. But do you know, he found out from Alice Hubbard's mother where I work, and he came to Bury once a week. He used to borrow a bicycle to come and see me.
So if you hadn't have gone to the fair that day, and Father hadn't have won the pig, then you wouldn't have got married, and then we wouldn't be here.
No, but we did meet, we did get married, and you were born, and now it's time you were in bed. Go on, off with you. Never start till morning. Go on, off with you.
Evening, landlord. Molly worked up a fair old thirst. It's wholly hot out in them fields.
Well, come on in and sit down. Is it a hard pint together?
It's all we can afford till we get our harvest wages. Mine and Mrs. has spent most of that already. She reckons the boys need new shoes before they go back to school. Man's got to have his supper beer. He's had a hard day's work.
Ah, is Chipper coming in tonight?
Yeah. I saw him feeding his pig. and the boys will be on her later. And my old Ted will drop in later as well.
Right. Hey. Hello there, landlord. We shall be doing justice to your beer tonight, I can tell you.
So the day's gone well then, Chipper?
Aye, it has.
And they did you proud?
They did, and they will tomorrow and the next day till the harvest be in.
Good old Chipper.
Where's old Sydney then? Haven't seen him for a week or two.
He's gone down the coke hut. Reverend told me better off being there playing dominoes and cards and spending his money in it.
Why's that then?
Well, had you heard? Well, he was ploughing on that 10-acre field, on that stony bit in the corner. Well, the poor chap managed to break his share. Farmer's making him pay it back a shilling a week out of his wages until he's paid for the damage.
That's a crying shame. When he gets 11 shillings a week, that's starvation wages as it is. Without having to pay that out the top of his drink.
You changed your tune, Tuppy. Only this morning you were sticking up for the farmer. The sooner Lloyd George brings in his people's budget, the better. Then maybe the poor of this country will have a fairer share.
I don't see how you work that out. If farmers got to pay more money in taxes, there'll be less to pay for us. If they do get it through Parliament, the Arsenal Lords will chuck it out anyway.
Now that's enough of politics for tonight. You know my views, I'm a true Tory. I don't want any arguments in here. What about a song? Come on lad, give us a song.
I've had a bit of a bad throat lately, so you lot can help me out with the chorus. And you lot out there. Hang on, this whole thing ain't working properly. Oh, the sun had set beyond yon hill, across the dreary moor. When weary and lame, a young boy came up to a farmer's door. Oh, you tell me, where'd I be, and one who'll me employ. To plough and sow, to reap and mow, and be a farmer's boy, and be a farmer's boy. And me father's dead, me mother's left with children great and small. And what is worse for mother still, I'm the eldest of them all. Oh, little Lion, I would labour hard if you would me employ. To plough and sow, to reap and mow, and be a farmer's boy, and be a farmer's boy. Oh, the farmer's wife cried, try the lad, let him no longer seek. Oh yes, father do, the daughter cried as the tears rolled down her cheek. For those who had worked, 'tis hard to want and to wander for employ. To plough and sow, to reap and mow, and be a farmer's boy, and be a farmer's boy. The farmer's boy grew up a man, the dear old couple died. They left the lad, the farm they had, and the daughter for his bride. Now the lad which was, the farm now has, often thinks and smiles with joy. To plough and sow, to reap and mow, and be a farmer's boy, and be a farmer's boy. Well done.
Have this one on the house.
Oh, thank you very much, sir. I'll have it in there. Thank you.
Here comes Ted. This one's made of money. Did you hear he's bought a fine tea set for his girl Sally? Oh, she's a lucky girl.
I'm the lucky one. Not every girl would be willing to marry a soldier, never knowing whether her husband will come home when his leave is finished.
Do you reckon there's going to be a war, Ted?
Oh, I don't know. The government and the generals don't ask us common soldiers what we think. But hey, maybe it's time we taught the old Kaiser a lesson, eh?
When do you go back to Gibraltar Barracks?
Tomorrow morning. Sally's walking with me to Cockfield Station. It's going to be the saddest day of my life. Who knows when we'll meet again?
Oh, come on, boys. Let's cheer you all up.
Oh, why not, Dave? Just one of those old fancy Morris dances of yours, eh?
Oh, yes, I think I will.
For another night, then. You'll be leading them again tomorrow, Tipper?
I will, and the next day, until the harvest is in, and they carry me home as king of the mowers. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, lad. Take care. Good luck.
It seemed that things would never change, and we should all go on living in Felsham and Gedden for the rest of our lives. Marry and have children, just as our parents before us. But the old king died, and his son George V came to the throne. New machinery came to the farms, and some men had to move to towns to find work. I went to Stowmarket to work in the post office, just as my mother had hoped. But the biggest event of our lives was in 1914, when war was declared with Germany. And for 4 years, all the young men from the villages joined the army and went to France. Life was never the same again.
To the glory of God, in memory of those in this parish who gave their lives in defence of their country in the Great War, 1914 to 1918. William Campen, Edward Dempster, Frederick Grimwade, Charles Grimwade, Fred Hollocks, John Hollocks, Arthur Hollocks,
Arthur Hollocks? That's me now.
George Horrocks, Harry Horrocks, Herbert Meekings, George Mills, Henry Pike, Charles Rose, Albert Smith, Arthur Smith, Stanley Smith. Their names liveth forevermore.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that. It was quite moving, wasn't it? Some of these players were in the last performance in 2000. Do you want to guess who they were? Now, this could never have happened without one person. And I have a confession to make because I forgot to put her on the programme. And she's the director. So I'm in serious trouble, so I've got to make it up by making her name well known to you. It's Jane Cutler. She's put up with us, and particularly me, for so long, I don't know. But anyway, we would like to say a special thanks to you, and we'd like you to accept this gift.
My lovely cast who have worked so hard. Front of house, lighting, couldn't have done it without you. Everybody pulls together. And we wanted to do this tribute for the village because it's so important today to remember they were just ordinary boys. So thank you all very much for coming.
This could not have happened without the efforts of one person. And I'd like to give a little token of our appreciation to her. Now this is Beryl, who wrote this play.
cast. They've done a wonderful job, and it has been a wonderful evening for me particularly, and I'm sure you've all enjoyed it. So thank you to all of you for working so hard to make this production become alive again. Thank you very much.